Ron Paul Institute for Peace and Prosperity welcomes you to 5 Minutes, 5 Issues.
Starting in
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, I'm Adam Dick, a Ron Paul Institute Senior Fellow. Let's start.
Issue 1.
There is much fuss about President Donald Trump saying negative things about the media, including calling much of the media fake news and the enemy of the American people. Trump's criticism of the media reminds me of an astute comment by Thomas Jefferson in an 1807 letter. Jefferson wrote, "Nothing can now be believed which is seen in a newspaper. I really look with commiseration over the great body of my fellow citizens, who, reading newspapers, live and die in the belief that they have known something of what has been passing in the world in their time."
Issue 2.
Current events writer Glenn Greenwald commented Thursday at Twitter that the only way to maintain the conceit that there is so little bipartisanship in Washington is by steadfastly ignoring the vast key policy areas where the parties unite. As an example of such bipartisanship, Greenwald points to the United States Senate having approved the National Defense Authorization Act the day before by a vote of 87 to 10. Passing the expansive bill each year is part of the process of maintaining and increasing the U.S. government's military spending that far exceeds that of any other nation. The legislation also facilitates U.S. military actions across the world.
Issue 3.
In the June 23rd episode of 5 Minutes 5 Issues, I talked about the New York State government potentially legalizing recreational marijuana next year. Given the announcement that week by State Commissioner of Health Howard Zucker that after the conclusion of a study requested by New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, Zucker was about to release a report recommending legalizing marijuana. Here is an update. That report was published on July 13th. Then, on Thursday, the governor created a working group that, working with individuals including state legislative leaders and marijuana bill sponsors, is charged with drafting a recreational marijuana legalization bill based on the findings of Zucker's report. The press release announcing the formation of the working group says the desire is for the state legislature to consider the legalization legislation in its next session.
Issue 4.
In last week's episode of 5 Minutes 5 Issues, I contrasted the stirring up of fear of Russia and the vast advantage the United States and NATO members have over Russia in terms of military spending and gross domestic product. Yet, President Trump insists that NATO governments increase their military spending. Why? The answer may be found in this phrase, military-industrial complex. That is the conclusion of Brian Clugley in his Friday Counterpunch article, NATO is a gold mine for the U.S./military-industrial complex. In the article, Clugley quotes Trump, saying at a NATO meeting last month that the United States makes by far the best military equipment in the world, the best jets, the best missiles, the best guns, the best everything, and listing off top U.S. arms makers Lockheed Martin, Boeing, and Northrop Grumman. Trump sounds like a salesman for American weapons companies in these comments, as he has at other times, such as when Trump, sitting next to Saudi Arabia Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman at the White House in March, spoke about, while holding up promotional posters, the sale of various U.S. weapons to Saudi Arabia.
Issue 5.
On Thursday, Missouri Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft certified that 3 medical marijuana ballot measures have qualified through the submission of supporting signatures to be on the state's November general election ballot. Tom Angel writes at Marijuana Moment that voters approving multiple medical marijuana ballot measures with conflicting provisions could lead the courts sorting out the effects of the votes. That's a wrap. Transcripts of 5 Minutes 5 Issues episodes, including links to related information, are at the Ron Paul Institute blog.
Five, four, three, two, one.